Hi, Tom Strasser here. I want to talk to you again about our mind. This magic, magnifying, marvelous mental machine we have sitting right up here between our ears. And it is by this mind that we live or die. It's by this mind we have great days, bad days, whatever, because everything starts here in our mind. I want you to look at your mind like it's a car. We have two possible drivers for this car. One guy can get in and drive the car, and it's nice and peaceful and quiet, very structured, very well planned trip. It's a good way of driving. Then we have the other person, the man, gets in the car, and it's mayhem, total turmoil. He's speeding, he's going all over, he's cutting corners, he's going everywhere, always in a hurry, an impending accident waiting to happen. That's our two types of mind. That's our two drivers for a mind. We have an ego mind and we have a spirit mind. Ego mind and spirit mind. And how we go through the day, what we feel, what we do in life, everything depends on who's the driver. Who's driving us here? Is it our ego mind? I want you to look at this ego mind for a minute because here's where our problems come from. The ego mind, it's like being in a relationship with somebody that really wants to control. They want to control what you think, what you do, what you say, everything about you. That's what our ego mind does. It wants to control us, and does this. It has three different ways of doing this. It offers us thoughts. It's constantly spewing these thoughts out here into our conscious mind. When our ego mind is the driver, it's spewing these thoughts, and it spews three really distinct type of thoughts. There's others, but three really distinct types. It's one that I call critical judgment thoughts, one that we call regrets, and one that we call fear. So critical judgment is what we're going through right now. So critical judgment thoughts, this mind gives us these thoughts and it lets us look at this and says, well, okay, what we're going to think about, we're going to judge. We're going to judge other people. We're going to judge what they do or say and compare it to what we think they should do. We're going to judge everything about it and we're going to find fault. And then the critical mind also judges our situations and events, what's happening to us. It's everything that's all about us. And this, when our ego mind is judging these situation events, it's what makes us a victim. It's what turns us into, well, I have no control over this. I just got to let it go. It's all about me. Poor me. Poor me. It turns me into everything that happens is all about me. And then the ego mind also, and this is one of the critical ones that we have to realize, this ego mind, this critical judgment factor, it focuses on us, on ourself. It judges us and always finds us wanting, always finds us less than. This critical mind gives us thoughts like, well, you're not good enough. Well, you don't deserve that. Well, you shouldn't be happy. You have no right to think that. You're not a good person. Why do you think you deserve something like that? Why do you think you should deserve to be happy? This thing when we're judging ourselves, it makes us blame other people for what happens to us. It leads us into self-pity, even more self-pity than what we had before. It gives us self-condemnation, self-hatred. It doesn't tell us anything good. It's all about judging and finding ourselves less. And then this ego mind also gives us regrets, things about the past. We may have made a mistake in the past, and it keeps bringing it up, bringing it back. Oh, you did this. It's terrible. It's going to affect you the rest of your life. It's terrible. You were really dumb. You shouldn't have done this. And then it has this ego mind gives us fear, fear of the future, gives us anxiety, worry. What if this happens? If they do this, what if this happens? So you see, the ego mind is constantly giving us things like that driver of the car that gives us contention, gives us upset, gives us a potential disaster waiting to happen. That's our ego mind. But all of us also have a part up here, and this sitting up here, called the spirit mind. This is when we let our mind be directed, our conscious thoughts be directed by the spirit, this lovely indwelling piece of God, this fragment of God, this indwelling great reality that we have inside of us. We learn to let our mind be directed by that. And see, then these thoughts become loving and peaceful and kind and generous and altruistic. We think thoughts that really help us, that make us feel good. So it's really quite easy to tell which one of the drivers we've got going in our mind. Do we feel peaceful? Do we feel secure? Do we feel loved? Or do we feel anxious, afraid, tense, regretful about the past? How we feel down through here all has to do with which driver is functioning up here in our ego mind. And the thing we have to realize is that we have the power to change drivers. We've got the power that we can change this son of a gun. One of the things the ego mind does is try to start us every morning. It tries to start every morning to reach out and grab us with a thought that will make us feel bad, a thought that will make us tense, make us less than, make us upset. And then once it gets us started down that path, it's like a worm, or like a thread, pulling a thread, it will unravel our whole day. The ego mind wants control, and it knows if it gives us enough of these thoughts about what we could have done, should have done, less than other people, all these comparative judgments and everything, we're going to reach out and grab one of them, and we're going to take that and nurture that thought and start developing it. And then the ego mind has control. It's much easier if we can stop that from happening at the beginning of the day. If we can learn to direct this ego mind to the back seat and not let it be the driver for our day, we have a lot better days. We have a lot better moments. We have a lot better days and a lot better life. We let our ego mind be dominated and get out of there, and we bring in our spirit mind. We consciously do that. So we don't let the ego mind take root and get hold, because we've learned that a campfire is always easier to extinguish than a blazing forest fire. Common sense. Our thoughts and our minds and our emotions are the same way. They're much easier to handle if we don't let them get overdeveloped, get so immersed in them. So when we start our day, we don't let our ego mind take control. When we wake up, when we first wake up, when our eyes open, we think of 5 things that we have to be grateful for. Just think of 5 things. You actually woke up, you can see. You woke up, you're here, you have a roof over your head. You woke up, you probably have somebody that loves you. And if you don't have anybody in your life right now, it's okay, because you know you're a child of God. And you've got this wonderful spiritual parent that cares so much about you, would do anything to help you. But we have to do certain things. We have to be able to tap into that spiritual power. We have to use our spirit mind. But realize, think of 5 things before you get out of bed, before your feet hit the floor, and start your day from the spirit mind instead of the ego mind. And then we learn that we can do things as we get into the day. We learn to do some meditation, some reading, some prayer, some readings that help us build and connect with the spirit mind. So we learn to do that. As we go through the day, we pause and ask for the spirit mind to be the driver. Let it be the driver for us for the next hour, for the next few hours. If we feel any contention, anger, impatience, intolerance, other people upset us, we're letting somebody push our buttons, we pause and relax and realize that this is coming from our ego mind. We have let our ego mind drive us into this feeling of discontent and irritability, feeling of judging. We let our ego mind take control. And all we have to do is back up and pause, take a few deep breaths, and ask our spirit mind to come back and direct our thinking. It's really that simple. And we do this over and over. We take and we learn to discipline this magic magnifying machine we have here. We have some discipline with it, where we can learn to control it, and we don't let our ego mind take control and make us feel the hurry, the anxiety, the rush, the regrets, the less than, the poor me's, anything like that. We let our spirit mind give us the love and the peace and the serenity that we deserve. We are a child of God. Our creative mother, father God, our parent, runs the universe. We have great resources, and we're always loved and cared for by this parent. But we have to let our spirit mind direct our actual thinking, and we have to learn to recognize when our ego mind is causing us problems. And it's any time we don't feel the peace and the love and the serenity, we're letting our ego mind take control. And we just have to back up, take the breath, and ask our spirit mind, take over. Makes a great day. Thank you. Blessings.